some composure. They've had plenty of the ball in hand, but just missing targets. A bit of composure going inside 50, extremely important.
Well, you're spot on. I mean, 62% kicking efficiency. They can't keep the hands on the ball at the moment. That's going to be the big key for them.
Pike and Sandilands resume the duel here at Domain Stadium in Perth. Sandilands got the last tap, down to 5. It's as you were. The kick goes inside 50. Clark and Pavlich careful not to get in each other's way. Good work from Rampy, but it's not coming out of there easily. His follow-up was excellent. He might have drawn some high contact there.
I think the key thing from half-time for the Swans is between the arcs they've got to keep the ball rolling, whether it's chip passing and that, but they've got to keep it going because Fremantle's setting up defensively there extremely well. So I think one thing John Longmire would have said is you've got to roll.
We spoke about that just before up here as well, Dick. I mean, if you move the ball slowly, they roll back and they get their defence right back, their midfielders back. And if you go too fast and you miss targets, then they're just going to turn it over, and then Freo are just going to get you on the way back. So it's a tough game for them.
It is a tough game. That's where I think the short use like this draws Fremantle defenders up at the ball. So I think keep drawing them up, get space out the back in the forward 50.
This is what you can't have. Slow, now going down the line.
Well,
they're just going to peel off here.
There was no Sydney player running there.
Reid takes the mark. Pike worked hard to get back, and he might have got in Buddy's way, but that's all right. He took the mark. He had to after doing that. Buddy was coming out.
Buddy's lurking, wants the handball off Pike.
Yeah, he's trying to put the fake on McFarlane here, so drifting away.
But it's great, great defence from McFarlane. He knew exactly what was going on, knew the assets of his opponents, so got up quickly, pushed up in Buddy's face.
So Mike Pike.
He does have a fantastic setup there.
Yeah. He's stopped, he's ready now. He's coming in. Shaping up for goal. Looking for the Swans second. That won't be it.
All clear.
They're on the board, though, in the second half. 1 goal, 4 only.
Hey, Ben, just the blue one, yeah.
Just the 1 goal in the first half against Essendon earlier this year in round 1. It was 1 goal, 7 on that occasion. And we all know what happened there. So maybe there is hope for them after all. Fife again.
Well, just Fife again. Too much space. He had a free jump at that. And we see if he's got a free run at a ball, he's going to mark it 9 times out of 10.
Thumps to half forward. Pavlich in a one-on-one with Richards, almost. Laidler, Smith, naturally onto his left. Straight across to Reid, who's got Rampy. Next, Cunningham. Had a handicap of about 1.5 meters to make up there, Ibbotson. He did that. Scrambled, followed up with a tackle. Outstanding work. Spur came next. That could have been holding the ball. It wasn't. Reid bundled it up. Gave it to Kennedy. They flick it around. A little bit more authority about the Swans. Starting to flow now at half forward. Jack kept on coming. From outside, he shipped just a little bit over the head of McGlynn. Favour dumped him by Tippett to give it back, but he's got everything going, flailing around. No joy from the umpires. It's out of bounds.
Well, that's a really bad miss from Kieran Jack. I mean, he's only had the 8 possessions or 9 possessions now for the game, but he just had to put that in Ben McGlynn's chest to go back and have a set shot. It was a really poor miss.
Well, almost thrown down by Sandilands. Tippett wanted to get it to Jack. Does he have a shot from there? I think he did. That's out of the foot.
It's the early stages. They've had all the ball, Sydney. This would be only the 3rd disposal for Freo. Sydney up to 22. They've been able to manufacture their way inside forward 50, but again, just missing those easy targets.
Spur takes it outside 50. Grundy against Clark. Clever tap from McGlynn. This is better from the Swans, but again, the hassle and the pressure. Here's their full ball from Fremantle.
And the danger here is not getting reward for effort. So they've got ball in hand, but what Freo do so well from this back half is rebound and go into space. So Freo could potentially score from this situation.
Reid to Kennedy. Subin, no way out for him. Swans turn tackless. Try and lock it in their forward half.
So Freo have dropped 1 out of this stoppage. So they've got 1 extra back in front of Tippett, 15 metres out from goal.
Buddy's standing about 30 out from goal.
And Sydney spare was right inside this contest. That's why they've got the free kick, because they've outnumbered them in there.
Reid's made a good start to this quarter. He's got involved.
Better be careful. Sandlands at the top of the goal square. Wouldn't be going there.
He's going straight to him. He's got to jump over the giant, and he couldn't do it. He's given away the free, I think, Tippett.
It's not a smart kick. It had to be weighted, as we saw earlier, where Zach Clark took a mark 15, 20 metres out. He had to allow Tippett to run at the ball, not just kick it in front of Sandland.
He's going to get another chance here, but he just had Pike just inside 50. He just needed to hit him there.
And that's better. Finds Tippett. Full extension of the arms for Tippett to hang on and take the mark, but he's done it. And they need somebody to find a way to convert here. Difficult as this shot is.
Absolutely. And as we said, the way he holds the ball is an interesting address to get himself settled and composed. Obviously, he's worked on this. But the ball drop is really difficult for where he has his right hand. It's high. And so it's going to be really hard for him to do anything but a high ball drop.
Really tight kick. No margin for error. And unfortunately, it's a little right.
The really good kicks for goal, like a Tony Lockett, who's probably one of the best, his right hand was very low and guided it down onto his boot.
Credit to Sydney so far, boys. They've actually manned them quite well in that little piece of the pie, that three-quarter kick we talk about. Fremantle had to kick it long every time coming out of defence. That didn't happen in the first half, so well done to Sydney so far.
And they'll find a way out this time. Hill giving that dash on the wing. Duffield dumped it back with him. Short stuff again is good stuff. De Boer and Hill at a standstill. This time cornered, forced to retreat. Just a tiny amount. Duffield lets fly. Up to the 50. Fife got worked out of it. And that was good enough, but he's not out of the contest. He's going scrambling. Full bore at it, over the top. He had someone's boot for a moment. Pav's in there also.
Well, you spoke about before, Lindsay, the dominance of Sydney going in this quarter. I mean, 28 possessions to 13, 11 marks to 4, contested possession 10 to 2. But they just couldn't get the result that they needed. Now all of a sudden, down the other end.
McVeigh feeding Kennedy. Shaw takes it to the wing. Buddy and McFarlane been enthralling. They've been scrapping and scrounging at each other, and that suits McFarlane just fine. That's over the line and out of bounds.
Once again, good contest. He protected the drop zone, and so held Buddy under the ball. So even if he couldn't mark the ball, it dropped from behind. He was the first one back.
Kick 3 against McFarlane when they last met in that qualifying final last year. No easy escape from there. Eventually the whistle comes. So we've gone 7 minutes in this third term for 2 behinds to the Swans. The lead whittled away from 48 to 46.
Big Sandy's having a bit of a rest down in the forward 50 at the moment. He's got Grundy on him at the moment.
Grundy tried to find Neal, poked back the other way instead. Hill, a little bit perplexed as where to go, found a clean path through Clark. And now Neal, as they brandish the ball around with hands getting ever closer now. Some nice fancy footwork, takes them out to the wing. Spur spears it into the space at half forward. Happy enough perhaps to set up. There's a little gentle shove in the back there from Main, and that might be a leg.
Got away with it.
All goes unwhistled. Hard the other way. Smith cops one high.
Well done, Smith. Knew exactly what to do there. Just buried his head in. Went straight at Main. He always knew he was going to get a free kick there. Good tough play.
So this is the fear for Sydney. They've dominated possession, time in forward half. If they can see the goal here, it'll sap the remaining amounts of energy. And look at Smith here, Moons, as you called.
Exactly where Main was. He just dropped the shoulder a little bit. Knew he was going to get head-high contact. It's a shallow throw-in.
Yeah. Shaw watching Fife. Mundy paddles it away. Kennedy puts himself in the thick of it. Parker there as well. And again, a bit of a scrap with Clark and Tippett. Getting a bit agitated. A few elbows being thrown around. Nothing too serious. Mundy takes up the task, but it's Bird. And now Shaw. Skyscraper to the wing. Pike. Johnson. The fist. So for all their efforts, they haven't been able to make much ground on the scoreboard. Still 46 points the difference, but a much better Sydney lineup in this third turn. Much more competitive. Tippett gets it down to Parker and then to Reid. Options went quickly through his mind. He's dumped as he kicked it downfield.
He's had a good start to the third term, Reid. That's his 6th disposal.
Good to see him being proactive. Pike.
Buddy wants it long, quick.
And that's where it goes. Can he get a fair run? He jumps. Hampered by this professional unit in defence. Sutcliffe smothered. Well done by Cunningham. Gets a little tap on the shoulder from Buddy for his good hard work.
And again, it was probably 1 or 2 seconds late.
Yeah.
It just allowed players to get back in front of Butt.
And then they're not the kicks that Buddy wants either. He wants to put out in front so he can do his work early and then run onto the ball, not get bombed on his head.
No one in the square. Lloyd. He spotted Jetta. At least we think he did. And Jetta can have the shot for goal.
Well, he'd be disappointed, Rossi, the way the Free started this quarter. I mean, if you look at possessions, they're getting belted in possessions for this quarter by 19. Contested possessions, the big one right now, 15-5 in favour of Sydney, and the clearances 6-2. So they're doing all the tough things right now, which is getting them hopefully back into this game.
So Jetta, careful approach, beautiful, right through the middle. Swans' second goal, finally. After being goalless all through the second term, it's taken to the 10-minute mark of the third quarter, and it's 40 points the difference now at Domain.
Important for Jetta and important for the Sydney Swans, but more importantly, Jetta's got his hands on the ball. Hasn't had a big game by any stretch of the imagination. That's only his 4th disposal, his first kick for the game, so they need to get him involved. They just haven't been able to find any space on the outside. On that occasion, it was probably a fortunate kick. Ross Lyon not happy.
No, he wouldn't be happy. He'd be really disappointed in how they started. We heard Nate Fyfe speaking with Ben Dixon at half-time, speaking about didn't want to fall off like they did last week against West Coast. Right now, that's exactly how it's looking.
Hope he didn't lose his pen down there.
No, he picked it up. He was a good gather straight away.
Hard ball get. Out of the middle. Which way will it go? Swans with a little bit of momentum. Parker.
We're out here again.
A lot of hands onto that for the Swans to get it out to Lloyd. But uncertainty all over his face. Needs McVeigh.
Well, that was great use. It was a low pass out in front.
And Ibbotson comes up sore. Works it back to Lloyd. Here's Franklin. One-on-one with McFarlane again. Fended it off, but he didn't have any room to work in once it hit the ground.
At least that's a better kick than what it was previous of just going high and long. At least he had a chance to use his body, push back on McFarlane, and then try and create that space in front of him.
And importantly, if they didn't get it, it goes over the line there.
So for the first time, Fremantle feeling a bit of pressure from Sydney. A fumble initially from Hill. Recovered enough to kick it back, but Richards planted in the right
50.
spot now. Oh, that'll be 50.
Yep.
Wasn't much in it really, but just enough.
Might check Ross Lyon's pen because he won't be happy with that, that's for sure. Just trends going against it. It was a late push, not a lot in it, but that's the rules. And Pav has just conceded that one.
Oh, Teddy, don't know what the option.
No, not good at all. Low percentage.
We're just looking at the contested possessions this quarter. 6-17 in favour of Sydney, and then you look at the clearances as well. Sydney really on top, doing all the hard things, which will get them back into this game if they keep doing it.
Hanbury gets the wild handball in the middle, had to follow it up himself. Got dumped. Bird to Kennedy. The main men are in there. They're busting a gut for the Swans. They're trying to lift this team, give them a chance at the start of this third quarter to get back into the match. Equal numbers though by Fremantle. And Fyfe at the bottom of it, of course. The ball comes out. Pearce. Nowhere to move. Good work from Tippett. Off to Franklin. Onto the left boot. Heaves it at goal. They're outnumbered deep. Spur on the last line. Desperate defence. Gets it to Johnson. And now back to Barlow at halfback. Surrounded by Swans as it hits the ground. Shaw, McLean, back to the square. Hill will get it into that last line. And he saves the day. Takes the mark.
They've got their numbers deep. And Sydney got the defensive sweepers around the 70-metre arc.
The energy's definitely changed, boys, with the crowd. They're actually cheering now when they get it out of defence successfully, because in the first half they dominated. And we know the crowd got on top, but Sydney just nullified them a little bit here.
Parker with the Fyfe. Anything you can do. Fyfe will try and do better. Reed, one-on-one with Subin. Desperate stuff. Got it away to Parker, and now they can go. Kieran Jack had time to line up Franklin and made sure he hit him.
Well, Sam Reid, he's had an excellent third quarter. He's had the 7 possessions and just contested as well, 4 of them. He's just put his body on the line there, and a couple of boys just going to him in the middle of the ground, just congratulating on that huge effort.
It's the best he's played in a long time, I think, for the Swans, which would gladden a lot of Swans fans' hearts. But Buddy Franklin now take it from 40 points, try and reduce the margin to 34, which he does.
Because he liked it early.
The Swans are mounting something here at Domain.
And absolutely they are. Buddy Franklin's been the target inside 50 on 7 occasions. He kicked 2 goals, 2 now. And there's a lot of confidence in the Sydney ranks, and there's a few question marks in the certainly the Fremantle ranks, and that's probably why Ross Lyon's not happy. We go back to last week, obviously a great start against the West Coast Eagles, ended up as a good solid win, but they conceded 9 of the last 10 goals last week to West Coast Eagles, so they didn't finish off the game. Just some not good signs here for the Fremantle Dockers.
Look at a lot of their ball winners for Fremantle just can't get their hands on it. Mundy hasn't had 1 possession. Neal only the 1 possession. And Walters hasn't had a touch yet this quarter.
Tippett came late with the tap, and it was a good one. Oh, that was high. It could have been high either way. Fife, tough to adjudicate in there. Rowan the subs on the ground. Duffield forges a path and gets Fremantle forward. Tough one for Tabernar. Not made any easier by the rolling style of Walters, and he's given away the free, which is fair enough. He came through fairly recklessly.
Saw too.
And the free kick going to Laidler.
And Ben Dixon, the sub's been made as we look at the replay.
Yeah, as Hutto alluded to, Gary Rowan's on the ground. Isaac Heaney's been subbed out of the game.
Well, hopefully there's not an injury concern there with Isaac Heaney, but you would imagine there is.
With his form, yeah, no question, not going to sub him off at half-time.
Well, maybe they just had to do something and being proactive. He's found it tough going tonight. Hanbury swings at the centre half forward. Reed's in the forward half now. Couldn't quite cling onto that one, but he gets it moving. Rowan, we know he's got toe. Needs to make sure of this. It was somewhere in between a shot and a pass. And Parker slaps the hands in disappointment.
It was a late decision. A late decision. He eyed off the goals and thinks, I'm going for goals, then saw his teammate in the corridor free and just slaughtered that one. Just see Isaac Heaney getting some attention there. Looks like it's a ice shin or knee.
Sandilands grabbed it. The onus was on him to dispose of it. He did enough. Hill clears it, but again, should be to the Swans' advantage. Rounded up well by Jack. Pokes, or tried to poke it to the leading McGlynn. In error, he's kicked it out on the full, and he's disappointed with himself.
Jeez, that's a couple of kicks this quarter, Jack, that's really let himself down with. He's a great, skillful player. He'd be really disappointed. Got a 50 here.
That doesn't help, does it, for the Swans?
Well, they had him under such pressure, though, having the ball in their half. The whole game this quarter's been played in Sydney's half, and just something like that just relieves the pressure.
And possessions 68-34, doubled the possessions to Sydney.
Sutcliffe overdid it. Jack takes it from Lloyd. Loath to go down the line when there was nothing for him. Back into the middle from Jetta. Flirting with danger. That danger rises with the fumble from Richards. He'll get it back, though. Good assistance, good hard work from McVeigh and then Cunningham and now Bird.
All of a sudden, the Swans have numbers at the contest.
Rowan takes the mark, glances inside. He's got McGlynn, he's got Kennedy, he's got Franklin charging at. Might go longer. He does, up into the 50. Oh, they come for Parker. Got to be a free kick.
In the face, probably against Fife. Made a reasonable fist of it.
Well, we just talked about Rowan, his kick inside 50 early, which was really poor. But a great decision. Buddy led up, drew 2 players out with him, kicked it over the top to Parker, and then Fife trying to do the right thing, going back with the flow of the ball, but always going to give away a free kick going like that.
He got the ball okay, but then he just cleaned him up on the follow-through. So Luke Parker,
big shot.
Been a wonderful pick-up for the Sydney Swans. Comes in, tense moment, and drills it with absolute class.
Tell you what, there's some real worrying signs. Inside 50s, 11-2 for the quarter. 3 goals, 2 to no score. They've been belted in the early stages of this third term. Clearances in favour of Sydney, as we would expect. Things looking extremely good. Uncontested balls, so the ability to have your possession chains on the outside are right up in Sydney's favour. 50-23, and disposals are still double. 76 Sydney, Freo 35. Luke Parker, he's a star, club champion 2004. Time in forward half for this quarter, 70% Sydney.
Dicko, the crowd trying to lift Fremantle at the moment. They can sense how crucial these next few minutes are.
They certainly are, Hutto, the big Freo chant. And just an update on Isaac Haney, boys. It's the right inside ankle, so we think he's given that a bit of a tweak, so subbed out of the game after a big game last week.
Great smother from Kennedy, allowed Parker to get it out to Shaw, and now Lloyd. The build-up impressive from the Swans. Didn't rush the kick. Rowan's there. Franklin's there. It cleared, got through the cracks, knocked away by Neal. Still there. The bounce could have favoured McGlynn, but Spur on the spot for Fremantle.
Reid, 8 disposals for the quarter. Conversely, for Freo, Hill has 7.
We know the big lift, but Kieran Jack, 6 touches in the first half. Now, he's had 7 this quarter, so, I mean, all their big leaders are lifting right here in the third quarter.
Pearce down the line, line and length stuff, fisted away. Walters had a battle, got it to De Boer, looked up, saw Main. Laidler does well for the Swans, and even better was Smith, going hard the wrong way, yielding about 30 to 40 metres back Cunningham, but kept it in friendly hands.
Yeah, Ted pulled that kick. He was looking at Reece Shaw in the middle, but Fife was closing rapidly, so thought better. We'll stay wide. Well, here we go.
Kicked 3-3 to nothing in this third quarter.
Jack's broken wide.
Got it back to 27 points. Rowan, after that big run, does well. And he's played with...
It's exactly what you want from your sub when they come in. You want them to do something. And yes, he had a poor kick inside 50 earlier, but now all of a sudden he's starting to put a little bit of imprint on the game.
He's giving them good energy, isn't he? Hanbury, they come from all angles. Sand lands. About 4 bites later, he takes the mark.
And that's going to be tough to get over Sandlands. But the run from one side to the other from Jack and Gary Rowan that's been the difference. The run to support, get numbers to the contest and provide options.
Hill lending a hand across half back on a couple of occasions. He's had 9 disposals this quarter, Stephen Hill.
Well, luckily he has, because nobody else in their midfield is really getting their hands on the ball. Their main players, Mundy, Neal, Barlow, have all had 1 possession apiece. Pavlich, he hasn't had touch yet, Pavlich. Pearce only the 1 possession as well. They can't get their ball users, their big on-ballers that we've been speaking about all week. They can't get their hands on the ball this quarter.
So Barlow down the line. Pavlich does get a touch. Almost marked it. Neal was in the right spot.
Five forward.
Gets 2 on 2. Fife was about to lunge for it. There's a whistle. I think it's either his
It's
free.
against Shaw for too high.
Yeah.
That's just the strength of the man. The big mismatch. You get him in a one-on-one inside 50 against Shaw. He's going to be way too strong. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to contest for marks. He's always going to get these free kicks.
It becomes a panic free kick from the undersized defender. You reach, you grab.
So Freo without a goal for 22 minutes in this third term. Nat Fife steps forward and misses. It's their first score for the quarter. It's a minor. The margin now is 28. Very catchable for the Swans if they can keep this momentum going and maybe get another goal in this turn. Hanbury.
That was a good kick. Good long kick deep.
Well captured, goes in to Reid.
He's a different man this quarter, Sam Reid.
It wasn't a great handball. Made Jetta wait an anxious moment or two and created some problems. Shaw just was pretending there wasn't any, but there was Fremantle players everywhere. Duffield almost threw that out to Mundy. Pushed off it by Jetta, pretty effectively, thrown out again, flung out of the pack. Jetta tries to get something running. Shaw through to Smith, to Jetta again, a fumble at the critical moment. He was led, play on the call. Shaw keeps on going, and are they out? Not yet. Kennedy gets a fit of the fumbles, tried to keep it moving, going hard the other way, Spur, but Jack comes on, takes it, gives to Bird. Fremantle players everywhere around him. Fantastic handiwork, gave it to Shaw, goes with the advantage. Franklin comes hard, top of the arms, that could
50.
be 50.
I reckon that'd be a harsh call to be 50.
Well, who else could the free kick have gone to?
A lot of noise. Haven't seen a lot of those played lately.
Franklin on the wing.
He's just got to get. They're under so much pressure for him. He's just got to get this inside 50.
Ibbetson's lurking at the
Now
end
they've
of
got
this.
numbers back. They're getting their midfielders back.
Reed's just poked forward to be a target for them, but doesn't like
If
it.
you need me.
Goes back instead to Shaw.
The patient switch.
Should Buddy go forward at this stage? He's pushed up across the half-forward line.
He was trying to get up and probably lose McFarlane, but McFarlane's
Just Jack work rate.
staying back.
It was outstanding there. Flicked it off to Rampy. He goes to Tippett. Got on the end of it. Kurt Tippett.
Again, like Parker's shot from the boundary line earlier in the quarter, massive opportunity for Sydney, just to narrow the gap again, but a big kick. Hasn't had a big night tonight, Kurt. Needs to go back and kick this one.
So now comes the hard part for Kurt Tippett. The shot for goal. He's kicked 2 behinds for the night. He's had 6 marks. Needs to hit the scoreboard in a meaningful way.
He likes it.
And he has, right through the middle. The Swans keep coming.
Well, Richie, this is just an amazing quarter from Sydney. The pressure that they put on early, getting the hands on the ball. We spoke about their kicking efficiency in that first half was under 60 at times. Now it's up to 77%. They're keeping their ball. They're keeping the ball. They're getting their hands on. They're not turning it over, and they're putting Fremantle under so much pressure when they get the ball. But they're putting goal score pressure on, which is the main thing. 4 goals, 3 for the quarter with their 14 inside 50s. It's a fantastic quarter.
Tico, the sub.
Yeah, Matt Tavernar's been subbed out of the game, boys. Tendai Zungu's subbed in. He's just about to come on the ground now.
So a bit more run for Fremantle. Sandilands got the tap down. Parker, yep, got one high.
It's just starting to turn. Free kicks going in favour of Sydney as well. After late from the first quarter, 6 unanswered goals for Fremantle, 4 now for Sydney.
Challenging kick, but he gave himself to half forward. Rowan was a good target, didn't mark it, but he's going to bolt away here, Rowan, into the 50. Hard kick for Franklin, got all the way through. Bird around the corner, Bird on the line, I don't think he touched it.
I don't reckon he has either. Do you want to listen?
He doesn't look too convincing, Clancy, does he? You can always tell when a player definitely knows he's touched it. He will jump up and carry on. He knows, I think he missed that one, Clancy.
Yeah, he's dived over the top of that one. Got the nasty bounce.
I see it touched the force across the line. Okay.
Just go up. Just go up, Daggers.
I believe it's touched. Just like check vision.
So he thinks it's touched.
Score review. Umpires
Maybe
call.
Clancy was just super confident.
Please confirm.
Review underway.
Looks like he's got his hands to it.
You can imagine he should have, but that's not conclusive, is it? I mean, but the umpire has said he thought he touched it anyway.
Yeah, the other angle looks, you can see his fingers bend back just there a bit.
Just there.
Nah, I think they'll just go with the umpire.
I'm not convinced either.
They'll go with the umpire's call, which is a point.
Umpire's call.
Touch ball.
Crowd not going to be too upset about that here.
Now can Freo get out?
Well, minute 40 remaining in a very tense third quarter. It's been a mighty performance by the Swans. They look down and out at half-time. Anything but now. Hand off by Pike to Rampy. They'll wind it up again. Little Benny McGlynn.
Oh, strength. Power forward, Ben McGlynn. But again, a kick where it allows the Swans forward to run onto it.
And we saw that in the first quarter and first half of Sydney. They took too long. And they allowed Fremantle to get back. Great mark by Pike on the kick in. But then just a quick handball off to Rampy and just kick it straight in there. As soon as you do that with the kick in, you know their men are going to be off the Sydney players. So you've got an absolute chance of getting a mark inside 50.
Put this one in the book, boys. Tell the midfielders to get back to the centre square.
Ben McGlynn knows what this kick means. And unfortunately for him, it's way out to the right. But the Swans keep on coming. 4 goals, 5 to 1 behind in the quarter. It's down to 20 points. This did not look likely at all at half-time. They only managed 1 goal, the lowest score in over a decade in a half of football. But suddenly, it's all come together in this third term for the Swans, even though they haven't fully capitalised, as the 4 goals, 5 would indicate.
That's right, inside 50, 16 to 4.
So down the line, 40 seconds remaining. They've dominated the airwaves in this quarter. This one gets through though. Mundy hammered as he kicked it. Richards, they're swarming forward again. Parker into the middle. Bird needs all that time on offer. Parker zigzagging, unsure, goes short. Hanbury will try and sum this up. Tippett at the top of the goal square. He's got the one-on-one he's after. Got to go to Kurt Tippett. He just looked a bit unsure in running. Can't take the mark at ground level. Slides in. Spur, desperate stuff on that last line. Hill, composed, charges out, has a bounce, and then kicks as far as he can to the outer side. And that will do, unless this mark is taken. Reed to the top of the square. Siren sounds, saves the day for Fremantle. The Swans, a remarkable quarter, Lynchy. They've got all the momentum as we head into this last term.
And absolutely, this reinforces we've got on display here tonight. Two of the superpowers of the competition. Freo so good early, but responded. A champion team, the Sydney Swans, have played really well. 4 goals, 5, 9 scoring shots in this third term. Set up for a fantastic last term.
Oh, it's their work rate, Lynchy. They're coming out that quarter, and their leaders were special in that quarter too. Look at Jack, 9 possessions, Hanbury 9 as well. It was their big playmakers through the middle of the ground.
Crowd stunned here, but Fremantle lead by 20. A huge last quarter. He's coming up next. Stay with us.